In the last video, we explored the Chaturdasha Vidyasthanas. We also saw an analogy to understand it better. Today, we continue with a little more detail on each Vidyasthana. So, we start with the first collection, that is Vedas, which has the first four Vidyasthanas. The word Veda echoes with knowledge, wisdom, and the age-old traditions of India. It originates from the Sanskrit root word Vid, which means to know. The term Veda also branches out from 5 significant verbal roots, which additionally mean the essence of existence, knowledge, discrimination, attainment, and the act of making known. Vedas are often called Apaurusheya, that is, they are authorless. It is believed that Vedas were revealed to the ancient sages or rishis during a profound penance or meditation. So the content of the Vedas have been attributed to many rishis, like the famous Gayatri Mantra is attributed to Vishwamitra, the Hiranyagarbha Sutra is to Hiranyastupa Angirasa, and Purusha Sukta to Narayana Muni. For a certain duration in time, the Vedas consisted of a large, unstructured, scattered literature which were originally revealed to the various sages. Then Vyasa, whose name literally translates to compiler, is credited with gathering the scattered pieces, organizing them coherently, and then segregating them into 4 distinct Vedas. To sum up, Vedas are authorless, but they are revealed to many sages which were compiled together by Vyasa. For achieving this feat, Vyasa was given the title Veda Vyasa, the compiler of the Vedas. The Vedas remain timeless, never withering with the ages. But what is their dating? The answer is often debated. Some astronomical references within the literature dates it back to around 3000 BC, with some modern researchers suggesting that they date a little earlier, around 1500 BC. Approximately, if we consider 3000 BC, we are talking about something which is around 5000 years old. Let's look at a small overview of each of these Vedas compiled by Veda Vyasa. The Rig Veda, the first one, stands tall as the oldest and grandest of the 4 Vedas. The Rigvedic priest is called as Hotra, and he chants mantras that praises the deities invoked during rituals. Yet not all Rigvedic hymns are prayers. Their innate curiosity and thirst for knowledge echo in every verse, revealing insights into life's many facets. Questions about the universe's origin, which intrigue today's scientists, were already pondered upon in the Rig Veda 5000 years ago. Suktas like the Nasadiya Sukta, which delves into cosmic creation, or the Hiranyagarbha Sukta and the Purusha Sukta, have been subjects of extensive interpretations in both Indian and Western philosophies. We will look at why are they called Suktas, what are mantras, a little in detail going forward. Moving on, unlike the Rigvedic poetic verses, the Yajurveda primarily uses prose. Though some of its verses borrowed from the Rigveda maintain a metrical form, they are usually in the prose format. Their mantras are known as yajas. The yajas are the tools of the Advaryu priest responsible for conducting sacrifices. From selecting the perfect spot for the yajna altar to offering oblations with the right mantras, Yajurveda serves as the guidebook for Advaryu. But the Yajurveda isn't solely about rituals. It's a treasure trove of knowledge discussing human anatomy, constellations in the sky, seasons, numbers, geometry, and even yogic insights. Because Advaryu was given guidelines based on the size of his feet to dig a pit for the altar and to know certain constellations, to conduct certain rituals. And sometimes to understand when a particular ritual is to be performed, seasons were to be known. So Yajurveda made sure it talked about everything that is required for the Advaryu priest to conduct the ritual in the right manner. The Yajurveda branches into two, Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. Krishna literally means black and Shukla is white in Sanskrit. The Krishna Yajurveda is believed to be the older one. There's a small story that had led to these two branches. Until sage Yajnavalkya's time, there was just one Yajurveda. After a fallout with his guru, Vaishampayana, who was the original authentic expert of Yajurveda rituals, Yajnavalkya sought a newer version. This new version became Shukla Yajurveda, leaving the original as the Krishna Yajurveda as was taught by Vaishampayana. We now enter the realm of the Samaveda, where the power of song meets the resonance of ancient mantras. The term Samaveda springs from the Sanskrit root Sama, which means to please or to calm. The mantras in the Samaveda are also called as Sama, and they are essentially Rigvedic mantra but set to melodies. The priests who sing Sama are called Udgatri. In rituals, the Samaveda serves a special purpose. The mantras are sung to please the deities after making offerings. The Samaveda is split into two sections, Purvachika and Uttarachika, together holding around 1549 mantras. Most of these mantras come directly from the Rigveda. More than 150 sages have contributed to the Samaveda. What sets it apart from the other Vedas is its deep connection to the music. The mantras of the Samaveda align with musical scales, much like the 7 scales in our classical music. In fact, one could say the roots of Indian classical music are embedded in the Samaveda. Venturing into the domain of the Atharva Veda, we uncover a Veda rich in depth and diverse in its essence. The term Atharvan is multifaceted. It signifies wellness, the visions of the sage Atharvan, and embodies truth and steadiness. Many believe the Atharva Veda came after the original trio of Vedas, that is Rigveda, Yajurveda and Samaveda. They were initially known as Trividya. Tri is three. Atharva Veda came at the end. The priest of the Atharva Veda is called as Brahman. He is like the overseer, ensuring everything runs smoothly. Before any ritual move, his nod is sought. If things stay off course, the Brahman steps in correcting and guiding. To do his job perfectly, the Brahman needs to know the other 3 Vedas inside out. While the Atharva Veda once had 9 branches, today only 2 remain, Pippalada and Shaunaka. And of these, only Shaunaka's teachings are fully intact. So far, we have seen 4 different Vedas and their priests having 4 different functions. Let's quickly reiterate what they were doing. Hotra, the Rigveda priest, chants mantras to invoke the deities for the ritual, right? And the Yajurveda priest, who is Advaryu, is following all the procedural aspect that is defined for the ritual, right from setting up the altar to doing all the sacrifices and offerings to the deity. The Samaveda priest is busy pleasing the invited deity with his musical Sama, right? So the final Atharva Veda priest is Brahman, who is overseeing all of these processes happening in a ritual. And if there is something going not according to the plans, he is the one who will step in and put the corrective measures in place. Doesn't it look like a corporate setup where there is a manager who is overseeing different processes and the manager is expected to be aware of all the functionalities but not perform them but oversee them and step in whenever there is a crisis, right? So there is a complete management lesson out of a ritual and the 4 Vedas and the duties of 4 priests. We will continue with a little more detail on how each Veda is layered and what do they talk about, and end with some lessons from the Vedas in the next video. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. The source for the content in today's video is in the description.